Right now at 6, a serious crash sends one person to the hospital near Alba, Missouri.
And we have another warm day in store for us. I'll have those details coming up.
Plus, a new alliance is advocating for improvements in Midtown Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
And it's Wednesday, August 20th today. Now, it's hard to believe. I know, of course, kids are back to school, but that we're almost to the end of August. Summer's almost over.
Well, it's going to start to feel like it soon.
Right.
Getting into those fall temperatures, 80s. It's still warm, but better than what we have definitely seen the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Now, let's go ahead and take a look outside, and we'll talk about those cooler temperatures coming up. Now, currently 72 degrees out in the Joplin area and even in Pittsburgh as well. We've got mostly clear skies and a light northeasterly breeze. Now today temperatures are getting into the low 90s, so that is still slightly above average but cooler than what we've seen for the last couple of days. Now we have these afternoon pop-up storms as typical for summertime, so we could just see a couple more of those moving in later this afternoon, but right now mostly, again, clear skies. We've got a few clouds out there, but overall, not a bad start to our Wednesday. Now, as we're looking at our future track, those clouds push out towards the south. We have these northeasterly breeze that's going to be moving that cooler air into our area. So that's why we have those cooler temperatures today and even cooler tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now, for most of the afternoon, we're looking clear, but you can see where those pop-up storm chances start to move in. And again, these are going to be very hit and miss storms and not long lasting, so pretty short, not expecting a lot of rain accumulation with these, just due to surface heating and a lot of moisture, typical for summertime. Now, we are in the afternoon, about 4 p.m., still getting those northerly breeze, and we are still seeing those pop-up storms until about 7 p.m. Now, like I said, tomorrow is going to be even cooler than what we saw today, with the highs only getting into just about 90 degrees, with most of us staying in the upper 80s. But I'm going to have all that coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, it's back to school season here across the 4 states. KOAM's Ty Parks is live this morning at Soaring Heights Elementary School ahead of their first day with some school zone safety reminders. Ty.
Good morning. We are out here at Soaring Heights Elementary where school is set to start today, and teachers and parents will soon be lighting up. But before we go too far, I want to explain to you guys one thing that's going to be happening now. School zones. Be very careful when you're crossing through a school zone because children will be crossing the streets more. You got to be careful about watching where they're going and watching what they are doing. So as you cross these school zones, make sure you slow down. The end is not worth it to rush through this. You'll still get to wherever you need to go safely. Also, buses. When that bus sign pulls out and you may be in a hurry, you still got to stop where they're on both sides of the traffic and let those school children cross. Well, not hopefully, parents will be showing up here soon, and teachers will be showing up here soon in order to get the school ready and get it up and going for the first day of school, and hopefully be a good thing. And back to you, Elise.
All right, Ty, thanks. Some important reminders there. We'll see you soon. Well, Missouri's governor appoints the state's first female attorney general yesterday, making history. Governor Mike Kehoe named Catherine Hanaway to the position. She replaces Andrew Bailey, who's moving on to become co-deputy director of the FBI, a newly created position. Hanaway is currently a partner at a St. Louis law firm. Previously, she served as Republican Speaker of the Missouri House of Representatives. Hanaway takes over the AG role next month. A 20-year-old Webb City man suffers moderate injuries after his pickup truck crashes through a fence yesterday afternoon. The crash happened near Alba, Missouri. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reports the single vehicle crash happened just after 1:30 at County Road 200 and Pine Road. The pickup traveled through a fence and flipped upside down about 60 to 70 feet off the roadway in a cattle field. The driver was transported to a Joplin hospital. Well, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol says they are still in the early stages of an investigation into a crash that caused the death of an Oklahoma Turnpike Authority worker. The crash, which happened earlier this week on the Will Rogers Turnpike near Miami, involved two OTA workers who were working on the shoulder of the interstate. A semi drifted off the roadway and struck and killed 36-year-old Zachary Reinhardt, an OTA worker who was picking up debris. The semi then struck an OTA vehicle where the other OTA employee, 25-year-old Colton Armstrong, was inside. Armstrong was taken to an area hospital with critical injuries. The semi driver, David Carlson of Whiteboro, Texas, was uninjured. Carlson told investigators he dropped a device and was trying to pick it up when he left the roadway. Well, if you're ever on the go and want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Well, a newly formed nonprofit hopes to bring new life to Joplin's Midtown district. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how organizers hope to bring together both businesses and community members.
You know, we don't see quite the same foot traffic that we would see maybe downtown, but we do love the community.
If you walk down Joplin's Main Street between 10th and 20th, not only will you see dozens of businesses, but you might see a small plaque in the sidewalk telling you you're in the Midtown district. To some community members, it's a place often overlooked.
This is an important area because it is one of the most entrepreneurial friendly zones in our city. Someone can easily come to this district and with a very small amount of money start a new business. There's just so many opportunities that are available to everyday people right here in Midtown.
That's what's inspired the creation of the Midtown Joplin Alliance, which will encompass that stretch of Main Street and the surrounding 6 blocks on each side. The organization's goal is to advocate for opportunities to improve the district, promote local business there, and keep the area clean.
You know, really every part of town does deserve a champion and someone to help showcase some of the great businesses like Fred and Red's and Norma's Diner or the OK Bar that are right here in Midtown and have been staples of Joplin for a very long time. We need someone to help showcase the businesses that are happening here and the opportunities for new businesses that could happen here.
Local business owners like the one here at Zinc Coffee say they're excited about the new alliance and the opportunities it could bring to Midtown.
We're really excited about growing into that, growing our business and figuring out what Joplin needs from us. It seems like there was a lot of initiatives for downtown and specifically like everything between like maybe 1st and 7th. So I'm excited to hear that there's some stuff going on, you know, really for us in the 7th to 20th range and what we could do to kind of come together and to just be good partners with each other.
Since the announcement of the new alliance, community members and organizations have voiced their support. The Downtown Joplin Alliance shared the news, adding, quote, "This is what Joplin needs. Every neighborhood needs to put on their big boy pants and do the hard work." For those in the Midtown District, they hope to not only improve their community, but emphasize supporting small and local businesses.
This is allowing us to make sure that the money is reused inside of our community to build our people and build our town.
And then we can do things like investing into art culture and craft culture and leading into that, making Joplin a place that people want to be instead of a place that people want to go to other places to have life and fun experiences.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The nonprofit organization says they've already had many community members reach out to learn more and get involved. They say the best way to do so is by following their Facebook page, Midtown Joplin Alliance. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Russian President Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky could meet for the first time since before the war began in Ukraine. Plus, seniors and prescription meds. There's a hidden risk of addiction, what you need to watch out for, and how to get help. And extreme heat. Lindsay has a look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 6:09. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, President Trump is drawing a red line when it comes to security guarantees for Ukraine, saying no American troops will be on the ground. This comes as the White House says there are developments in President Trump's efforts to set up a meeting between the leaders of Russia and Ukraine as part of the push to end the war. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
In the push for peace, a potential place for talks, CBS News has confirmed Budapest, Hungary is among the cities being considered for what could be a historic meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
I had a very successful meeting with President Putin. I had a very successful meeting with President Zelensky, and now I thought it would be better if they met without me.
The last and only time the two leaders met face-to-face was in Paris in 2019. More than 2 years before Russia invaded Ukraine. The White House is hopeful a new sit-down might take place in the next 2 weeks.
The president wants to move, and he wants to bring this war to an end as quickly as possible.
As the Trump administration works to hammer out those details, European leaders met virtually Tuesday as they race to come up with a plan to protect Ukraine after the war. One thing that won't happen, according to President Trump, is U.S. boots on the ground.
France and Germany, a couple of them, UK, they want to have, boots on the ground. We're willing to help them with things, especially probably if you could talk about by air, because nobody has the kind of stuff we have.
Russia said in a statement that it categorically rejects the possibility of any NATO countries placing military assets inside of Ukraine. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Ukraine's President Zelensky says a strong Ukrainian military is the first line of defense when it comes to security guarantees. A White House official tells CBS News that European leaders hope to have concrete details for a plan in the next 10 days. And still to come, from auction house treasures to award show deals to K-pop confessions, entertainment news is buzzing. The stories making headlines today. Plus, Lindsay takes another look at your Wednesday forecast. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, a K-pop group is crediting a U.S. fan base for their growth in popularity, and the American Music Awards are here to stay. Christian Benavides has today's Eye on Entertainment.
He will be a sensation.
Costumes and props used in the hit TV show Downton Abbey are on display at a London auction house ahead of the release of the final Downton movie. Actress Penelope Wilton.
Well, it certainly brings back memories and very fond memories indeed. And it's also, I think it's been beautifully displayed.
The show began its 6-season TV run 15 years ago. Since then, it's had 3 big screen spin-offs, including Downton Abbey, the grand finale, which hits theaters September 12th. The auction house is accepting bids until the 16th. CBS and Dick Clark Productions have reached a deal to broadcast the American Music Awards and stream live on Paramount Plus for the next 5 years. This year's program on CBS marked the show's largest audience since 2019 and a 38% increase over its last airing on ABC in 2022. The AMAs are set to air their 52nd edition next year on Memorial Day. K-pop group IVE is crediting American fans for their international growth in a new interview.
We really love fans, and fans always give us love and support. So, yeah, we do feel a lots of strong bond between us, and yeah, literally, without them, we can't do anything.
The 6-member all-girl group is known for its hits, such as Love Dive and Afterlike. Their new album is set for release August 25th. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
All right, a lot of exciting entertainment events coming up. Let's head over now to Lindsay for a quick look at today's forecast.
Well, temperatures are going to be getting into the upper 90s, but as you can see, we've got mostly clear skies. A couple of these pop-up storms, you see where the green is. So we could see a couple pop-up storms through the early afternoon, starting about noon until after 5-6 p.m. But for the most part, we're going to stay mostly sunny today. Now, this is where we're going to see those high temperatures in the low 90s, so cooler than what we've seen for the last couple of days. And then all of those isolated storm chances clearing out by about 7 p.m., but staying clear for the evening. Well, we have mostly clear skies out there. We have a few clouds, but overall is a good start to our morning. You can see some cars going by downtown Pittsburgh. Temperatures in the low 70s right now. We have not any rain on site for us through the morning hours, but that all changes once we get into the afternoon. Until then, we're starting off in the low to mid 70s. Again, those partly cloudy skies, but overall good morning. A light northeasterly breeze, so that's going to keep us a bit cooler today as we go through the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures only warming up to the low 90s. Now that's still pretty hot, but it is cooler than what we've seen for the last couple of days. And then we have just a slight chance for a couple of these isolated pop-up storms, but not going to be widespread for us at all. Now, although temperatures are going to be in the low 90s, for most of us it's going to feel like that. Out in Oklahoma, going to be a little bit warmer, 94 in Miami, 96 in Veneta and Grove, 97 out there in Nowata. But the rest of us are looking at our feels like temperatures, which is our heat index, very similar, right on par with what our actual temperature is. The same goes for Thursday as well. It's going to feel like upper 80s to low 90s, and that's what the actual temperature is. 88 in Lockwood, Lamar, 89 in Carthage, 90 in Joplin, but you can see still a little bit warmer out there in Oklahoma, 93 in Nowata, 92 in Veneta, Welch, and Grove. Now, temperatures do start to warm right back up on Friday, unfortunately, but that's just due to some wind shifts. Now, as we go through Wednesday, this morning, you can see those clouds start to push a little bit further south. We've got that light northeasterly breeze that sticks around, and we also see those pop-up storm chances. Now, mainly, most of them staying south of I-44, but we could see a couple of random ones throughout the 4 states. Not going to rule anything out. Those winds stick around in the north, but by Thursday morning, trying to shift out of the east. Now, winds also pick up overnight. It doesn't last long. We go back to northerly breeze as we get into Thursday afternoon. That's why those temperatures stay in the low 90s to upper 80s on Thursday. Not expecting any rain chances either on Thursday, but we could see a few more clouds tomorrow than we did yet today. Now, by Friday morning, this is 7:30, those winds shift back out of the south. That's why our temperatures start to warm up on Friday and even into Saturday. The difference is, though, Saturday we start to see another front moving through, bringing some rain chances. All right, so here comes our front. This is going to be early afternoon on Saturday. We've got those storm chances as well, mostly isolated. And then we go back to seeing northerly winds. That's going to cool us down pretty quickly on Sunday, already going down to the upper 80s, about 87 on Sunday with mostly clear skies. So it's going to be really beautiful. And those temperatures stick around in the 80s. Monday, 82, 84 on Tuesday, 86 on Wednesday. So we're getting into the 80s next week as we're ending August. Next couple of days, we're going to stick around in the lower 90s though. And that is a look at your forecast. Let's go over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, there's new evidence that e-cigarettes may be a gateway for teens to try other substances and are linked to a range of health issues. University of York researchers found young people who vape are much more likely to start smoking traditional cigarettes, and that vaping also often leads to alcohol and marijuana use. In addition, this study found links between e-cigarette use and asthma and mental health concerns. Well, kids who eat more omega-3 fatty acids have a reduced risk of vision problems. A study in China found that a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are commonly found in fish oils, led to lower rates of short-sightedness in kids, also known as myopia. Now, children who ate a lot of saturated fats, including those in butter and red meat, had higher rates of short-sightedness, according to the research. Seniors face rising risks with prescription drugs, and addiction is becoming a real concern. More older adults are seeking help than ever before. Chris Bryant dives into this growing issue.
Medications can be tricky to keep straight, especially when you have multiple prescriptions.
As seniors get older, they tend to have more chronic conditions. They tend to be on more medications to treat those chronic conditions. And the more medications you have, you get polypharmacy, you get more risk of possible interactions or causing problems.
It isn't just prescribed medications, but food and alcohol can have an effect on medications you are taking. Alcohol is the most misused substance, followed by cannabis.
Diet plays an important role in every aspect of healthcare, and taking medications and interactions with foods, beverages, alcohol. Those things are no different. It's
The American Psychological Association says that 1 in 11 adults over 60 had a substance use disorder in 2022, with common risk factors of bereavement, forced retirement, and health problems.
So when you're looking at side effects of medicines, when you're looking at possible interactions, there's lots of different symptoms. So things like confusion, dizziness, drowsiness, unsteady walking, nausea, vomiting, upset stomach, changes in vital signs like blood pressures, either too high or too low.
Mercy Springfield says it's important to make sure you have conversations with your doctor when it comes to the medications you are taking and talk about concerns you may have.
There's always that risk anytime you're dealing with people. I think communication is key. Communication between the patients, the family members are an important part of the care team, and the physicians. And so it's important to educate the patients on how to take their medications, when to take their medications, and possible side effects of those medicines.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, seniors in McDonald County High School got up at the crack of dawn for their last first day of school.
And it is a beautiful start to the first day of school for some, and we actually get into the low 90s today. I'll have those details coming up.
Plus, Pitt State opens a part-time opportunity for some of its full-time students.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:31. I'm Elise Snowe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
It's Wednesday, August 20th. And of course, it still feels like August out there, but those temperatures next week looking promising, and I'm sure the kids heading back to school are going to like that temperature waiting at the bus stop.
Definitely, especially not waking up and it's already hot outside. That's going to be my favorite time of fall.
For sure.
Now, unfortunately today it is still in the 70s. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. Low 70s right now out there in the Joplin area and even in Pittsburgh. But you can see we've got a nice looking sunrise going on out there, just beautiful skies and a light northeasterly breeze. Now temperatures today warming up into the low 90s, about 92, 93 degrees. It's going to feel like low maybe to mid 90s, but feel very similar to what the actual temperature is outside, which is a nice change of pace. Now we do have some afternoon pop-up storm chances out there this afternoon, starting about noon, finally clearing out, or chances clearing out by about 7 p.m. And we have that light northeasterly breeze continuing. Now, so far this morning, not much going on. You can see our clouds are out there and starting to clear over the next couple of hours. Now, the green pop-up storms, that's going to be where we could see some pop-up storm chances throughout the area. Not looking at a widespread threat. These are going to be very isolated chances, quick pop-up storms that we normally see in the summertime. But outside of those pop-up storms, we have mostly clear skies and this light northeasterly breeze. Now those chances for pop-up storms starting to clear after about 7 p.m. There you can see now starting to look a little bit calmer out there. Same northerly winds, Now as we get into Thursday, temperatures are even going to be even cooler than today, getting into about 90 degrees, maybe 91, in the upper 80s for a lot of us out there. So a cooler end to our week, and even cooler, more cooler temperatures next week. I'll have those details coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, it's back to school season here across the 4 states. We have KOAM's Ty Park. It's live this morning at Soaring Heights Elementary School ahead of their first day with some school zone safety reminders. Good morning, Ty.
Good morning. We're standing here where the pickup line for kids will be dropped off here shortly at Soaring Heights Elementary. Right now the road looks kind of clear because just the teachers are showing up, but here shortly this whole line will fill up with cars as they drop off their kids for the first day of school. It being the first day of school here in Joplin, I want to remind you about traffic laws are also now in effect. That means when you see that traffic light starts flashing, you got to slow down. You can't be running through those things. Also the school buses. When you see the school bus stop sign opens up, that means both sides of the lane has to stop and let the kids cross. Once the sign goes back in, then you can proceed on your way. Parents will be dropping their kids off here shortly, so be very mindful of those traffic laws because Joplin Police Department will be on the lookout for this. They will be looking to look out to see if anyone is speeding through school zones, if anyone is driving by those school buses, because they take this very seriously, as do most people. Now, back to the fun part about first day of school. Eager faces, eager people come in here to learn. The teachers are excited. We'll be speaking to them shortly, later on today with the principal, about, well, what it takes to get this first day of school running smoothly. And what does it mean to be such a wonderful school that it is Soaring Heights Elementary? And the preparation that it takes to get this school running smoothly. Because the first day of school, everything is new. The teachers are excited. The children are excited. And they are just, eager to learn. So come back here later at the 7 o'clock hour and we'll have an interview with the principal about what it takes to do that. Back to you, Elise.
All right, eager to learn. That's all it takes. Chai, some important reminders there. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon. Well, school started last Monday in Chautauqua, Kansas, but the town came together last night for a fun back-to-school bash. Firefighters fired up the grill, cooking hot dogs, while students from pre-K through 12th grade, their families, and community members enjoyed games and activities. The First Baptist Church handed out reusable water bottles to keep everyone refreshed. Now, just because kids are back in the classroom doesn't mean the fun has to end.
This event represents how we feel about kids, that we want to include their families and that we care about them and we want what's the best for them, and that when you come to Chautauqua, you're a name, not a number.
The event also served as a fundraiser to support preschool teacher Jessica Midget, who's bravely fighting breast cancer. And seniors at McDonald County High School started their morning early as they watched the sunrise come up for their last first day of school. The seniors met on the high school's football field, taking pictures and enjoying donuts.
They're high achievers, they're kind, they're a smart group, they're an involved group, and it's going to be a great year. I know they're going to be good leaders for us, and they're going to do a great job.
Now, in just 150 school days from now, the McDonald County High School seniors will walk across the stage during sunset at their graduation. And PSU held its annual community fair yesterday afternoon. The event, typically held at the start of each fall semester, enables students to meet with local companies, businesses, and organizations. Organizers say it's about showing students the value of planting roots and building futures right here in the 4 states.
Just a lot of chain situations that you run into in Pittsburgh. So we have a lot of smaller things or maybe entities that they haven't had as much personal interaction with.
Events like this are normally held on the campus oval. However, with construction underway, the event was relocated outside the Overman Student Center. And some students at Pitt State are getting a glimpse of their future thanks to a job fair. As KOAM's Ty Parks reports, the opportunity could give full-time students some part-time possibilities.
We're looking for something to fit in my schedule of classes and just help pay for all the expenses of living here on campus and food and all that.
A part-time job can fit perfectly with a full-time student.
Yeah, a lot of students are looking for that part-time work when they're coming to campus. They need something to do in between the classes, and whether that's an on-campus job or off-campus, it just makes it nice to have one event where students can come and talk to these local employers that are looking for those part-time opportunities.
McCarthy's Bar is just one employer we spoke to that said they are perfect for the college student with limited hours.
Luckily, our hours are flexible. We're looking for just anywhere from 15 to 20 hours a week availability. We're not open on Sundays, so there's a day off that no work and no school. Obviously, they can take care of their schooling.
Sometimes a part-time job can be a stepping stone to the full-time career.
Hope that those opportunities do transfer into something long-term, and I know employers are seeking out those as well. It all just depends on what the company is looking for, whether that's just a part-time position or it is something that could potentially transition into full-time, but there's always opportunities for that.
This is another way PSU paves the way for success for its students.
I think that's really good. It'd be really hard for students to get full-time in with all the classes and everything, so.
In Pittsburgh, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The university hosts various job fairs for both students and the community throughout the year. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The FDA issues an urgent warning about a popular frozen food sold at Walmart. Plus, the Powerball jackpot reaches its highest amount of the year so far. We'll have the latest. Time now, 6:39. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, it's official. The White House has launched a TikTok account. The move comes less than a month before President Trump's latest extension for the social media app to find a new owner or face a U.S. ban that expires. Now, this same day, the White House account went online. Minnesota announced it's suing TikTok, accusing it of preying on young people using deceptive and manipulative practices. A TikTok spokesperson says the lawsuit is based on misleading and inaccurate claims, adding that the company has voluntarily implemented robust safety measures. And the FDA is warning Americans not to eat certain batches of Walmart's Great Value brand frozen shrimp because they could be contaminated with the radioactive isotope. The shrimp was imported from an Indonesia-based company and sold by Walmart stores in more than a dozen states. Walmart has issued a recall and says the affected products have been removed from shelves. Customers are urged to throw the product away and to contact the place of purchase for a full refund. And the Powerball jackpot has grown to more than $640 million, its highest amount of the year so far. Players can take a shot at winning the prize in tonight's drawing for the price of a $2 ticket. The estimated cash value of the jackpot is over $290 million. And that's a look at Consumer Watch this morning. Let's head over to Lindsay now for a quick look at your forecast.
So far, we've got mostly clear skies, a few clouds out there, but a nice start to our Wednesday. You can see downtown Pittsburgh looking good. Now, temperatures in the low 70s to start off our day, but we are warming up again into the 90s today. Low 90s, so closer to average, and we have even cooler temperatures in store for us.
Well, it's time to celebrate some birthdays and anniversaries on this Wednesday morning. We're going to start in Galesburg, Kansas with a happy 9th birthday to Annie Strath.
Jumping over to Seneca, Missouri, a happy 20th birthday to Avery Arlington. The message says, happy birthday, we love you, Mom, Dad, Aspen, Olivia, Amory, Nanny, and all the rest of the family.
And making our way over to Iowa with a happy 39th birthday to Lori Baylor.
Another Iowa, Kansas birthday, turning 59. Happy birthday, Robin Town.
And a happy 78th birthday to Kate Trimble in Joplin. It says here, happy birthday from the CCRHS class of 55.
Switching gears a little bit, happy anniversary, 31st anniversary to Dave and Janie Ruddick out in Columbus. A happy anniversary from your church family.
And back over to Joplin, a happy birthday from Jody Allen.
And back in Columbus, Kansas, happy birthday to Debbie Evans.
And last but not least, happy birthday to Lainey Joe Saporito in Columbus, turning 10 years old today. Well, thank you all so much for celebrating your birthdays and your anniversaries with us. If you would like to celebrate, you can do so by submitting it to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen. Let's take it over now to Lindsay for a full look at your forecast.
Well, taking a look out downtown Pittsburgh, a few clouds out there, but overall mostly sunny skies through most of the day today. Not looking at a lot of rain chances for this morning, but we could get some isolated storms later in the afternoon. But until then, temperature is starting off when you're heading off to school over the next 30 minutes to an hour or so. 74 degrees, so mid to lower 70s. That's where we're going to start off across the 4 states this morning. Partly cloudy skies. Now, like I said, we could get some pop-up storm chances there in the afternoon. Starting afternoon at 12 p.m. and then getting into about 7 p.m. where we could see those pop-up storm chances. Now, temperature is warming up into the low 90s, about 92, 93 degrees. Now, the future feels like temperature is very similar to what our actual temperature is. Now, this is a change of pace. We haven't seen this for several days. Typically, we're seeing those heat index values way above actual temperatures. But for the next couple of days, we're going to be right on par with what the actual temperature is. 92 in Joplin, 91 Pittsburgh, Girard, Fort Scott. A little bit warmer out in Oklahoma, 97 in Nowata, 96 in Veneta and Grove. But overall today, not too bad. Now, when we're getting into Thursday, even cooler. So this is our coolest day for the week. Even cooler temperatures in store for us over the next 10 days, but coolest temperature this week until about Sunday. Now, actual temperatures in the low 90s, hitting just about 90 degrees. So some of the counties out in Oklahoma are going to be a little bit higher, but the rest of us, again, right on par with our actual temperatures, upper 80s to low 90s. Now, taking a look at our future track. Throughout the day today, we've got those northeasterly breeze, a couple of those pop-up storm chances, mostly staying along and south of I-44, but some of us still could see some random hit and miss storms, not looking at a widespread threat, very quick pop-up storm chances. Now by Thursday, 3 a.m., stronger winds out of the east, trying to shift, but not quite. Get back out of the northeasterly breeze. Now, getting into Friday, we warm up again on Friday into the low mid-90s. We get those southerly winds. However, more rain chances return on Saturday along with a cold front, as you can see. So round of rain chances and a cold front that's going to bring our temperatures back down on Sunday into the upper 80s. But even cooler as we head into next week, 82 on Monday. So a nice cool start to our work week. More rain chances coming up at the end of next week. That's Look at Your Forecast coming up when the KOEM Morning News switches on over to Fox 14. We take a look into how the famous Zoltar fortune teller machines are made.
This is your Wake Up Recap for August 20th. The top stories to start your day. A Texas truck driver admits he was reaching for a drop device when he struck and killed 36-year-old Zachary Reinhardt, an OTA worker, and critically injured Colton Armstrong earlier this week. The semi veered off eastbound I-44 near Miami and hit both men. Reinhardt, a heavy equipment operator and volunteer firefighter, was picking up trash when the semi struck. Well, 4 people are hospitalized after a truck carrying lawnmowers flips over near Carthage yesterday afternoon. The crash closed the roadway for 2 hours while crews rescued trapped occupants and cleared the scene. All 4 victims suffered moderate injuries in the rollover. And a pickup truck crashes through a fence and flips over in a cattle field near Alba, Missouri. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says the single vehicle crash sent the driver 60 to 70 feet off the roadway. The driver was rushed to a Joplin hospital. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
Well, taking a look at our 10-day, we've got temperatures in the lower 90s today. Tomorrow only hitting about 90 degrees, but most of us staying in the upper 80s. A little bit warmer on Friday, but a cold front on Saturday brings rain and cooler temperatures to start our week off.
Well, you know, looking at that, it got really hot in August, of course, but that's a nice way to finish it off. A nice start to hopefully September.
Getting closer, yes, getting closer to those temperatures
it.
being consistent. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Just got to get through this week, and I'm sure the kids going back to school will be happy at the bus stop next week. And coming up today at noon, we're making sizzling margarita steak in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOEM with CBS Mornings. Now this morning, Oscar and 7-time Grammy winner Joan Bastide shares about his new album called Big Money.
Ooh, or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, or your only local morning news continues, or of course if you just stick with us here on KOAM Plus. If you're watching us on here this morning, Delia Lister joins us in the studio to share how volunteering can provide great opportunities for college students.
Plus, Labor Day is right around the corner, and that means Pittsburgh will be preparing for its annual Little Balkans Day festivities. But that'll wrap it up for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
We certainly will. Lots to look forward to tomorrow, and we'll see you today at noon.